Although there are many harmful effects that the internet can have on our daily lives, there are also a few benefits to it. One such benefit is that the internet may help solve and uncover hidden mysteries. Number 5. In 2015, 2 men were arrested in Houston after having stolen an iPad and $5,000 from a car. The men then headed to a Burger King and took various pictures and videos of themselves holding the stolen cash using the iPad. In the video that was made, one of the men says, quote, "Hello America" to the camera. He's then heard saying that this is what you get from a good night's hustle, and proceeds to hold up the cash. What the two criminals did not know was that those images and videos synced with the owner's iCloud account. The owner stated that some stolen items had been left behind a Starbucks, and believes that the iPad connected to the Starbucks Wi-Fi, which allowed the photos to sync with iCloud. He then shared these images on social media, which assisted the authorities in the identification of the suspects, and subsequently led to their arrest. Harris County Precinct 1 Constable Alan Rozet explained that what the offenders failed to realize, since they were not technologically astute, is that images and videos go to iCloud. He further stated that the victims of the robbery had been looking at his iCloud account and witnessed these men holding the money and giving an ad hoc interview on how to get your hustle on. He expresses that these individuals have turned themselves into a movie. The media also picked up on the images and video, which led to the arrests on a Wednesday evening after a policeman had seen one of the men. Dylan Thompson, who was 22 years old, and Dorian Walker, who was 20 years old, were arrested and faced with felony theft charges. Rosen stated that Thompson had also told officers that he was planning on leaving the state the week he was arrested. Rosen went on to say that he thought the two would be technologically inclined given their age, and should have known that the pictures and video would automatically be uploaded to the cloud. Rosen also expressed that the addition of iCloud has been incredibly useful in other investigations of robberies and other crimes as well. He believes that the two suspects were actually just not very bright. The images of the two thieves included one where they held $100 bills in their mouths while posing for the camera. Another showed them holding up the stolen cash up to the camera with smiles on their faces. Luckily, the owners of the iPad had their iCloud account set up. Otherwise, they would have never been reunited with their belongings, and the criminals would have probably gotten away with it. The story had even made its way onto the local news, where the start of the story stated that the individuals' smug selfie pictures and videos had been seen by thousands, and now the suspects are behind bars. A live reporter explained that one of these men had been arrested outside the Covenant House, where an outreach program was being held on Wednesday nights for at-risk youths. The second offender was located at a friend's house. The owner of the stolen goods, Randy Schaefer, stated that he was relieved that the two had been apprehended after they'd stolen the items from Schaefer's truck earlier in the month. Social media and other aspects of the internet has proved to be very useful in solving crimes and mysteries, and has become useful for gathering information or identifying individuals. Without it, there may have been no way that the following mysteries and crimes would have been solved or the offenders identified. Number 4. On the 2nd of May, 2015, a Reddit user posted a curious story to a subreddit called r/legal advice. In the post, Redditor R. Bradbury 1920 explained that on the 15th of April, he had found a yellow post-it note and a handwriting that he claimed was not his. It was found on his desk and revealed a reminder of some errands that he had to run. He expressed that he had not told anyone about these particular errands. This led him to believe that it was something he had done in his sleep or in a half-awake state, which would account for the handwriting. He threw the note away and didn't think much about it again. On the 19th of April, though, he came across another one on the back of his chair in the same handwriting, instructing him to save his documents. After this, the Redditor became terrified and decided to set up a camera that would record when motion was detected. On the 28th of April, he woke to find another note, which eerily stated, quote, "Our landlord isn't letting me talk to you, but it's important that we do." Bradbury quickly checked the webcam folder but found that it was empty, and so was the computer's recycling bin. He believed that someone had seen the camera and deleted the recordings. The user found another note on the 1st of May outside of his door, but this time nothing had been written on it. He found that there had been different colored post-it notes stuck on many doors in the house, all of which had nothing written on them. He confirmed that all of the previous notes had been written using his very own pen. The legal question came in when Bradbury asked if he could get into trouble if he were to call the police, and if they had no outside source. The post was met with many confused comments, aside from one that solved the case. A Redditor named Kakerlak commented that the individual might be forgetting what he's writing on the notes due to him having a mental issue or dissociative disorder. They then suggested that it may be due to a physical problem, and recalled that the poster had a narrow bedroom with no windows. The Redditor suggested that Bradbury may not be getting enough ventilation while he's sleeping, or that perhaps there was a carbon monoxide leak somewhere in the building. Kakerlak explained that Bradbury should get a cheap CO2 detector, and said that if it was due to carbon monoxide poisoning, then he would be experiencing some severe headaches or migraines as well as memory loss. Bradbury responded to the comment, saying that he had been experiencing some seriously bad headaches, and that he did have a CO2 detector which he'd now take out of the box and plug in. About 9 hours later, an update was posted, and it was found that carbon monoxide poisoning had in fact been the culprit. When the carbon monoxide detector had been plugged in, it read 100 ppm. Carbon monoxide at a level of 70 ppm would cause symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning, and from 150 ppm it becomes fatal. Neurological side effects are among the most common symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning, which include loss of consciousness and memory issues. The notes were actually being written by Bradbury, but he would forget about them due to the carbon monoxide. A final update stated, quote, "I had CO poisoning and thought my landlord was stalking me," concluding the story. Kakerlak was applauded for his quick thinking and suggestion, which ultimately saved the user's life and solved the strange mystery of the post-it notes. Some of the replies to Kakerlak's comment included one which asked how it felt knowing he had just saved someone's life, and another stating it was very impressive. Luckily, Bradbury had taken to Reddit about the situation, otherwise he may have never known that he was being slowly poisoned by carbon monoxide. A link was posted in the comments to Bradbury's separate update thread, where he thanked everyone for their suggestions. A personal message had also been sent to Kakerlak, thanking him for the suggestion and saving his life. Another individual stated that they love hearing about Reddit saving people's lives. Bradbury later stated that he had also set up a webcam and downloaded the app to his cell phone, all of which he had completely forgotten about. It's times like these that boost positivity for the internet, among all the negative things that it possesses. Bradbury has since made many more Reddit posts, all thanks to the internet. Otherwise, no one may have heard from him ever again. Number 3. The ever-popular Reddit community has often led to many solutions to various issues, and has proved to be a rather helpful platform. On the 7th of April in 2012, a woman was a victim of a fatal hit-and-run incident in Virginia, Washington. Susan Rainwater had been traveling on her bike on Route 7, 60 miles south of Seattle. She was fatally struck by a vehicle that quickly took off shortly after. The accident had taken place in the morning hours on a straight stretch of road. It took several hours for the woman to be found by a passerby. At the time of the accident, there were unfortunately no witnesses to the crime, leaving the authorities with very little evidence to go on. The only clue that they managed to uncover was a chunk of black plastic belonging to the offending vehicle. One state trooper, John Dattila, who had attended the scene, took an image of this chunk and posted it to Twitter with the caption, "Troopers and detectives are still looking for a black vehicle believed to be involved in this morning's tragic bicyclist fatality." He then stated that should anyone have any information, they should call the Washington State Patrol. It's not rare that the authorities will post images of evidence asking for help, especially if it's for identification of a vehicle. It would prove incredibly difficult for anyone to identify what vehicle this piece of plastic had come from. The following day, the post was shared to Reddit, on a community called What Is This Thing? Strangely enough, someone had the right answer. A Reddit user named u/JeffsNuts had come across the post and gave a definite answer. He stated that the piece of plastic belonged to the headlight bezel of a 1980s Chevrolet pickup truck. While this quick response may seem surprising, the individual later explained that he worked in Maryland as a vehicle inspector, and a headlamp adjustment had been part of a mandatory safety check. The Reddit user stated that he could immediately identify that the notch was for accessing the adjustment screw for the headlamp, which older pickup trucks would have had. After an image search, the individual was able to discover the exact model that this chunk of plastic had come from. When asked what it was like for Jeff to be the point man of an investigation, he expressed that he'd been casually scrolling through Reddit when he came across the post. To him, it appeared as more of an intellectual challenge rather than a search for justice. He then confidently added that he went straight back to watching football. Jeff didn't realize the gravity of the situation until he started reading private messages that he'd received from a friend of a friend who expressed how upset the family of the woman was. He was thanked for his input, and Jeff realized the extent of what he had just done. The person responsible could have gotten away with it if it hadn't been for him. After the Reddit post and Jeff's quick response, the state trooper made another Twitter post stating that the findings would be shared with detectives. Soon, the detectives began a search for a truck matching Jeff's description. The authorities used the description as well as surveillance footage and an anonymous tip, which led to the arrest of the offender, who was a local man known as Jeremy Simon. Simon owned a 1986 Chevrolet pickup, and the front corner was still damaged from when he had collided with rainwater. Another one of State Trooper John Datilo's Twitter posts stated that detectives have made the arrest of the offender involved in the fatal hit-and-run accident in Eatonville. He explained that a Reddit user was able to verify what kind of vehicle the authorities should be looking for. Additionally, there were other anonymous tips that eventually led to the arrest. Simon's lawyer explained that his client had fallen asleep while driving and drifted into the other lane. Simon had told authorities that he thought it had been a mailbox that he hit, but quickly fled the scene when he saw the crushed bicycle. Simon pleaded not guilty to the charges. As for Jeff, he was concerned about the family of the victim instead of taking credit for solving the crime. He expressed that he'd been receiving many thankful messages from strangers, as well as a note from Rainwater's family expressing their gratitude. Number 2. Back in 2016, Bridget Kitson, the girlfriend of 26-year-old Sam Whitehorn, shared a heart-wrenching story to a Reddit community for Portland, Oregon. Whitehorn had been assaulted by 3 individuals while he was walking past a bar. He'd been wearing a Green Bay Packers football team jersey when a group of fans belonging to the Packers' rival, the Seahawks, saw him. The rival team didn't like that he was in support of the Packers and initially started an argument with Whitehorn. Kitson continued to say in her post that one individual had knocked the man so hard that he fell and hit his head on the curb. Whitehorn was said to be diplomatic and nonviolent throughout the exchange and was later taken into ICU. Kitson explained that he was going to have emergency brain surgery and would soon be on the road to recovery. The authorities already had detectives on the case, and Kitson knew that Reddit may come in handy and be used as a helpful resource. Kelly Whitehorn, the mother of Sam, further detailed the incident, stating that witnesses had said that the man was walking down the street innocently before the group of 3 men began to give him grief over the fact that the Packers had just lost. He wanted them to leave him alone, but they persisted, and subsequently led to a brutal assault. After the story spread throughout social media and Reddit, it eventually made its way to the Packers team, who then contacted Whitehorn and even spread his story. The Packers gave the following message to Whitehorn, stating, quote, "The Green Bay Packers were saddened to learn of the senseless attack on Sam Whitehorn last weekend. We've been in touch with Sam's family and have heard from many of their concerned friends and send the organization's best wishes for a quick and full recovery." The case reference number 16-16503 was also posted to Reddit by Kitson, which invited some witnesses to come forward on any information they may have had, and this they did. The suspect who inflicted most of the injuries was later described as white or Hispanic and possibly in his 30s. He stands at 5'11" tall and had a thin build. It was reported that he was a clean-cut man and wore a black jacket at the time. The man was seen with 2 individuals who were all seen running east on Northwest Hoyt Street. A GoFundMe account was also set up in order to aid the family in paying for the hospital bills. The account was sent through social media and gathered many donations, which quickly brought in $26,000. The Reddit community was a great asset in assisting this case, and without it, witnesses may have stayed silent, and we would not have known the description of the individual. Should anyone have any further information regarding the attack as well as the individual, they're encouraged to contact Detective Tony Harris on 503-823-0786. There was CCTV footage taken from within a convenience store, revealing 3 individuals who are suspected to be the men who assaulted Whitehorn, though this has not been confirmed. Although it was initially believed that the men were fans of the Packers' rival team, this also remains unconfirmed. Police stated that they would be interested in speaking with these 3 individuals regarding the case. The man wearing the black jacket seems to fit most of the description, but there are a few features that are off, such as the presence of a beard. The convenience store was not far from where Whitehorn was attacked. Even if these individuals are not the suspects that the police are looking for, then they may be used as witnesses. Additionally, these images should have been posted to the Reddit community for witnesses who had already come forth to confirm if these were the individuals that they had seen. We can only hope that more witnesses on social media may recognize the individuals or have any other information regarding the case. The internet has so far helped the authorities with a general description of what the offender looks like, which will be useful in the investigation. The Reddit community came together in support of Sam Whitehorn's story, which has led to assisting police, reaching the Green Bay Packers, and financially aiding Sam's family, as well as showing support for the man. Number 1. In 2012, an individual took to Reddit to ask for assistance on a curious topic. The Reddit user was named Delver of Secrets, but the account has since been deleted. The Redditor's post explained that a homeless man had randomly given him a note when on the subway in New York City. The note revealed some sort of code that needed to be deciphered. Along with the note, the user also received a $50 bill. Other Reddit users who saw the post quickly jumped to start trying to decipher the coded message. One user got it right. Sir Spam28 revealed that the code uses the Bifid cipher, which is a type of cipher that makes use of a Polybius square and transposition. The complex code was said to read the following, quote, "There's plenty more money to make. Figure this out and prepare to meet July 19th, 56th and 6th hot dog stand outside Rue 57 Cafe. Ask for Mr. Input." Some commenters went on to state their theories on the matter. One of them explained that the homeless man was most likely paid to give the individual the note, but was paid a higher amount than just $50 to ensure that he would make the delivery. This Redditor believes that the entire event may have been a marketing gimmick. Delver of Secrets later shared an update of a message he received on Reddit, which stated the following, quote, "You've managed to find the message with the help of friends. You changed the rules, now so will I. July 12, 4 p.m. Find the Blue Jay at 6.5 and 56th and tell him you are the last." The mystery was pursued by the Redditors, which became a very lengthy process, and a lot of figuring out took place. A series of theories were added to the thread. Some believed it was a marketing scheme for The Dark Knight Rises, or for Base Entertainment, which was the company behind the Spy exhibit, who have offices close to the arranged meeting spot. Redditors arrived at the meeting area and found that other Redditors had come there as well, after following all the updates about this strange mystery. By 4 p.m., there were 150 individuals, and one of them was a Reddit user named Dave, who stated that he believed this was a marketing gimmick for The Dark Knight Rises, since it fits with the previous marketing schemes that they've done before. After 4 p.m., a man with a white beard and hair walked by the meeting grounds. He wore a blue shirt and a bucket hat. Redditors immediately swarmed the man, thinking that he was the Blue Jay that the message had referred to. But still, nothing had happened, and the Redditors began to grow impatient. 2 brothers, Justin and Paul Kruger, explained their theory. They believed that the man that they'd all swarmed around was the man that they were waiting for, and that he was just overwhelmed. Justin explained that he had seen the same man come from a bar that he used to work at. He recalled that this strange man would only come there for the opera music and never drank anything. He also expressed that the man would usually not wear all blue attire, and this must have just been a coincidence. Others suggested that the whole thing was a hoax, and eventually the crowd grew thinner. There were around 30 or so code breakers remaining, and one of these Reddit users would walk off in one direction and everyone followed them, thinking that they had found a clue or a lead of sorts. At around 5 p.m., the original poster who had received the note had shown up. Redditors quickly cornered him, and he explained that his name was Ali and that he had nothing to do with it, and he was there for answers as well. Later, he updated the Redditors on the situation and stated that he was receiving threats against his family and himself and decided to delete his account. It's still believed that the entire story was some sort of hoax, and Ali deleted his account to avoid the hate that he would receive. If it was not for Sir Spam28, perhaps no one would have known what the cipher read. The Redditors all teamed together in order to discover what the cipher was about. Although the mystery still remains unconfirmed, a part of it was revealed. No new ciphers have since come in, and all that's left is to speculate that this was a hoax or some kind of marketing gimmick, as stated by the Reddit users, with the winning theory being that it was a publicity stunt for The Dark Knight Rises, which may have also been linked to the spy exhibit. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to keep up to date with all of our future uploads. But my name is Ty Knotts, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.